Hi friends, I'm Mark Govan, host of Florida Gardening, heard on 970 WFLA AM in Tampa Bay. Today I'm down at the Willow Tree Nursery and we're talking about how to split daylilies. Now normally what I'd like to do is I'd like to go out in the garden patch and pull out a bunch of daylilies that are in a big clump. But for today's purposes, I'm going to show you a nice pack of daylilies in a 1-gallon container. And as you see, these have already multiplied. We've got several daylilies in here, and we're going to teach you today how to split these daylilies up and to have more for the garden. Now, you're going to need a couple of things. First of all, you're going to need some daylilies. That's number one. Then we're going to need a couple of hand trowels to actually split the daylilies apart. We'll go into that in just a minute. And of course, sometimes we're also going to need a pair of pruning shears, sometimes to cut those roots away at the base of the plant. So these are all you're going to need for today's demonstration. So the first thing you need to do is to go ahead and remove the daylilies that you have from the pot. Now what I like to do is I like to go ahead and turn the pot over and putting my fingers on all sides, and then I push from the bottom, and I'll actually pull. I put my finger in the bottom hole of the pot here where the roots are coming out, and then we're going to go ahead and turn it right back over. Okay, I'm going to set it down back on the table here to give us a nice working area to work with. And then what we want to do is we want to start to remove the dirt from around the plant itself. So we're just going to kind of push this dirt away from the base of the plant. And as you notice right now, as we've removed this, you can actually see where we have several additional starts for the daylilies already coming on the plant. So we're going to continue removing this dirt. Once we remove the dirt, we want to remove right down to the base of the crown of the plant. And sometimes we're going to use the forks. Now on a bigger plant where you have a lot of these, you can put the fork right in the middle of the plant, and that will help go ahead and pull these away from the actual mother plant. But in this situation, there's only some smaller ones, so we can probably work these by hand to pull away. Now, when you do pull away, you want to make sure that you are maintaining some of the root system of the plant itself. So let me break this root system up just a little bit more, and you'll see that the plants are starting to move even better here. So now we're going to go ahead and pull. Because it's a small plant, you can do a little bit easier by just pulling very easily these individual starts right from the mother plant. Now take a look. As I pull this section out, you can see it already has a well-developed root system on this particular part of the plant. Well-developed means it's already growing away from the mother plant, and that's going to be our first cutting that we're going to be able to use into a new pot. Now you see this is a very small one here, so you want to be real careful on the smaller ones because the roots are probably going to be very small on these, and just kind of work that plant away from the mother, trying to get as much of the root system as you can. Sometimes you don't get but just a little bit of root, but as long as you get the crown of the system here, this will still grow for you. Now sometimes what people will do is they will even take 3 or 4 of these together, and they'll divide these out. As long as you get a little bit of the base, you can still make these grow for you as well. I like it better when they have the roots on them, but sometimes you don't get all the roots off. Now you see this is right in here is where the flower actually initiates from, at the base of the crown of the plant. So what we're going to do, since this is just one single plant, we're going to go ahead and keep this as well. But it looks like we're going to have about 4 additional plants to go ahead and use when we pot these back up in the garden. And that's as easy it is to split daylilies up to prepare more for your garden. You know it's great getting additional plants for the garden from existing plants that you already have. I'm Mark Govan, host of Florida Gardening on 970 WFLA AM, speaking to you today from the Willow Tree Nursery right here in Pinellas County.